Just an interesting thing, I think it's more pertinent to the particular geography of British Columbia. Our First Nations there have relatively few treaties in effect, and this means that there's a lot of uncertainty. It's driven by jurisprudence and increasingly practice, people working things out. And I referenced the UNDRIP law. In 2019, the BC legislature passed what I believe is the world's first UNDRIP law, Bill 41, which set down that UNDRIP principles are to be implemented into our legislative framework. Not overnight, it'll take probably decades. And the first industry through this was going to be forestry, and I think it has happened. And so one thing that's happening here in permitting terms is a shift of who's doing the work of permitting to local First Nations. So it's a really interesting time right now as you see, I think there's some capacity gaps in First Nations, especially small ones, having the administrative tools to be able to engage in the things they're being asked to do, but we're also seeing that in oil and gas. In BC's case, of course, is mostly gas and the upstream. We've had developments in jurisprudence there that I think caused industry to take a deep breath and say, are we going to be standing after this? But you know what? Working things out. There's one little piece of innovation that I think is coming out of BC. I don't see it, when I Google, I don't see this term being used in a lot of other places. Intentions paper, So the government is saying, okay, we're going to go through some reforms here, but before we do that, we're going to do that grander piece to set the stage for it. We're going to set out the intentions that we think we as a government and those stakeholders and rights holders we're consulting with are interested in hearing about. And I think that's a piece of innovation that arguably hasn't yet shown the ultimate goal, but I think maybe in the right direction. So I'll close by saying that through working creatively, through moving to higher levels to escape the conflicts that can bog us down and slow things down, we can thereby accomplish these higher level aims of getting more mines for critical minerals, getting the cleaner energy products to the world's markets who are looking for them, who are turning to high quality and democracy-based products for their own economies on wherever it may be across the oceans in the world.